How are you?
Very well, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for agreeing to sit with us today. We just want to introduce the Sesh to Browse readers.
Okay.
So just want to start off really. Can you just tell Browse readers what the Sesh is?
Sesh is just a weekly platform for aspiring local musicians of all genres. We've been running it for 12 years now on a weekly basis. We're running it a lot. And it's there to sort of get the word out that all's thriving as far as music's concerned.
And how does it act as a platform for local talent that want to kind of be successful in the music industry?
I think what the Sesh does is it encourages good practice or good practices. Sort of, the way I host the Sesh is I sort of do it in a radio style fashion where I sort of obviously announce the bands that are playing throughout the night, but also we talk up like new releases and new videos they might have, we show images up on the screens, we play their demos, and we sort of just give them this platform where they could get their music out to the masses, albeit in just a small venue like this. But we make some good connections with the industry. We work alongside people such as Warren Records with Stu Baxter, and we have a great relationship with BBC Introducing. We speak to them regularly and tell them what bands and acts are sort of coming through the ranks here at the Sesh. Yeah, so I think it's a great platform. It's sort of inspired many bands and acts over the years. I'd like to think anyway.
So it's not just a case of kind of giving the band a stage. There's also a lot of input from the Sesh behind the scenes, kind of multiple instruments for bands to help them on record releases and such, just to kind of give them a presence.
Not in the same aspect as like an arts development officer, say like Stu Baxter at Warren. Obviously Warren will have the studio and they'll have mentoring in place to help these kids with get their music out. But like what we provide here is a platform for them to do it live and to get the word out that they're here and doing their thing.
So you said you've been doing it for 12 years now. So over the 12 years that you've been doing it, which kind of bands stand out as key benefactors of the Sesh?
Key benefactors, well, I've had some amazing bands, as I say, of all styles, all genres. We're not a closed shop as far as when it first started out in 2002. There was probably only around about sort of a dozen bands, 20 bands then that were just on a rotation every month. And sort of as the years have gone by, we've now got a database of over 300 acts, which is pretty impressive for original, unsigned, under the radar music acts. But bands that have done well off the back of it. I'd say the bands that have sort of gone off to play Leeds Reading festivals, etc., through our links with BBC Introducing, and that's just like telling them what bands are like, really sort of creating a bit of a noise here on a Tuesday. We've seen quite a few bands go through and play at Leeds and Reading, and bands getting airtime on Radio 1 and on 6 Radio and stuff. So you'd have to think, the early noughties bands such as the Paddingtons obviously spring to mind. And it wasn't through the Sesh, it was more through them networking down in the Big Smoke and sort of hanging on the coattails of like Libertines, etc. And it all exploded for them by joining Alan McGee's record label. But no, Paddingtons definitely, bands such as Turismo and Landau's and Dirty Dreamers, The Favours back in the day. And then sort of moving on from there, you've got the likes of Mr. Beasley, Fond 500, End Level Barney, that have all gone on to do some great things. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to think there's been a lot of bands that have sort of benefited from the Sesh night on the Tuesday.
We've obviously got our very own Mother going out to play Leeds
this weekend. Yes, which is superb. And like what I love about Mother, they're like a hybrid of a dozen bands that have been before them, like that have played at the Sesh. I mean, all the members in Mother have been involved in other bands that have played here, and they've sort of learned their trade through playing at nights like this at the Sesh. And look at them now; they're flying high, playing at Leeds Reading, getting airtime on Radio 1. It's fantastic.
Yeah, one of many kind of big bands in Hull at the moment, the likes of Mother, Smiler, Blood Sugar, some really good local talent coming through the ranks. And I personally...
Hubbards. A very special band, King No One. I mean, I don't know if you know anything about King No One, but King No One in the last right, the last year and that, they've come from nowhere. Like a couple of members are based in York, one's in Beverley, one's in Ulf, but they're very much part of our local music scene. And they played at Leeds and Reading last year, not through the BBC introducing channels, but through a competition. But they went on to play at Leeds and Reading. They've supported Embrace on their O2 comeback tour just recently. Been playing at some great festivals. They were on Channel 4 Sunday Brunch only a few weeks ago. They're a band that people probably don't know too much about, but they're one of our bands, and they're flying high too.
You see, I didn't realise actually that you had links to the BBC introducing.
Only through sort of working relations and friendships, I suppose. With the likes of Alan Raw and Katie Newman and Martha Mannon and that. They're instrumental in putting Hull up there. I mean, BBC introducing basically came about through Raw Talent, which was a Radio Umberside show through Alan Raw and Katie Newman. And off the back of their success of Raw Talent, BBC Radio took upon themselves to launch BBC Introducing nationwide, and it came through Umberside. I don't think people are aware of that.
No, not at all.
We've got a lot to be proud of.
I mean, one thing that's surprising for me is that last night, for example, I came to see 3 bands that I'd never heard of before, and at the end I think we both agree Le Petit Mort absolutely blew everyone away.
They nailed it last night. Yeah,
and
fantastic.
That for me is just a prime example of what the sesh is about. So to come to a night and not know what to expect, and then to see a band like that who are going to be featured in this week's magazine, absolutely kill it. And for me, they didn't really have a crowd there for them,
Well, that's the beauty of the night. I mean, we've never really heavily promoted the session. We don't go out on the streets and put flyers in people's hands or posters and takeaways and cafes and that. It's all through word of mouth, really. The session's built up sort of a music community over continuity more than anything, consistency of doing this night week in, week out. We haven't had a break. It's been every week for 12 years. I think the likes of what we've just done with Under Street Sesh Festival have been built up on sort of engagement and trust of the local creatives, and that's the beauty of the night, is that because we don't really sort of push it apart through social media, through Facebook and likes, people do turn up on a Tuesday with no idea who's going to be on, but then walk away pretty excited about the music scene and all, because week in, week out we have some incredible talent there.
That's another thing that's really surprised me actually, is how you manage to get 3 different acts on every week.
Through trust and engagement, I suppose. I mean, just keeping on top of it, finding out what bands are coming through, what bands are starting out, and giving them a chance, giving them an opportunity. I mean, we've seen over 1,000 performances here in the last 12 years, of all styles, as I keep saying. Initially, I mean, it was primarily sort of an indie night. There's a lot of indie bands, sort of, because of this sort of the Strokes and the Libertines and the early noughties and everything. There was a lot of indie bands trying to sort of mimic that. But as the years have gone by, we've opened the doors. We've had some great electro acts in here, and we've had metal bands in here, and soul and funk bands, which are always exciting. Yeah. So yeah, it's great.
Obviously, this year as well, the Humber Street Sesh really came on in leaps and bounds, with us being able to charge for it now, and kind of bands can benefit from that. We can actually pay the musicians for the talent. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the Hull Musicians Charter. Can you just introduce that to Browse readers for us? Tell them what that is.
So, the Hull Musicians Charter was set up through Alan Raw, through BBC Radio on the site, and through Mal Williamson at Creative College, and they sort of engaged with local promoters and venues and sort of said to them, come on, we're doing pretty well as far as a local music scene is concerned in the city, but we're not valuing the arts. And it all came to sort of fruition following Freedom Festival last year, where one of our premier bands in the city, the Tugs, felt a little bit sort of hard done by, that they weren't sort of valued at the festival. And it got people thinking, and through Mal and Alan setting up the Hull Musicians Charter, they invited venues and promoters down, and we had a few meetings, and it was sort of discussed that there has been a musicians' union in place across the country, but there's never been anything like a charter, where we're sort of putting down sort of, say, 5 basic points that we should value musicians. We should pay them a fee for performing. We should give them a rider, whether it be beer or water or whatever. we should help with transport costs. We should give them a place to sell their merchandise, and just provide a valued platform for them. And that for Musicians Charter is pretty unique across the country, and something that the city should be very proud of setting up.
Yeah, I could see that was being advocated last night. Actually, Streaming Lights had the opportunity to sell their CDs from the Sesh Upper Pack, so it's good.
It's so important. It's so easy for venues, say the pubs. Also, I mean, a lot of music venues have suffered over the years with pubs. Even with the limit, like with pubs putting on live music nights and not really valuing the artists, and just opening the doors, getting some bands in, paying them like peanuts, or not paying them at all, and in some cases charging them to play as well. I mean, this happens across the country, and that's just so wrong. There's just no value to the musicians or the performers, and without them, you haven't got these live music nights. So it's really important that we do value them.
So is it fair to say then that every performer that we see on Tuesday's Sesh is paid?
They all get paid. They have their images up on the screen. We play their demos, not just on the night they're here, but throughout the year as well. Same with the images up on the screens. We talk about them on the social media platforms. We sort of try and big them up throughout the year, whether they're playing on any particular week. So yeah, I think we do our bit here at the Sesh, and we're sort of trying to encourage good practice right across the city.
Can you reflect for us a little bit on the success of this year's Humber Street Sesh and maybe point out some key performances?
On a personal level, I didn't really see much of the day. It was all a bit of a blur. I was on a radio in one hand, and I was just walking. I probably did about 20 miles in the day, just walking from stage to stage. I caught a few performances, very few though. The ones that I really made an effort for were Life, formerly known as The League, because they're a band that just they epitomise everything I do here at Sesh. I just love those guys, and their performances are always full of energy and they're frenetic. And Mez has got that hypnotic presence as well, and I just love Life. So I always make an effort to watch them. But I did catch a few others. There was Sam Arcut in the speakeasy stage within Cider Warehouse, and he was pretty impressive. Really enjoyed that. Paddingtons, of course, I got in there to see their final sort of last half hour.
That's where I saw you with your walk.
And that was a proud moment, getting them back on the stage after 4 years, because they were instrumental at the beginning of sort of igniting the music scene. With their success in the early noughties, it sort of inspired many other kids to pick up the guitar, and to get them to play on the street Sesh after a 4-year absence was, it was a proud moment. I enjoyed that, but the success of the day was just, it's all through engagement. It's through trust and engagement. It's through doing this weekly platform here, building relationships up with the likes of Warren and the Adelphi, the legendary Adelphi. We all love it, and what we try and do here at the Sesh is try and support all the various venues, the various promoters, the bands and artists, and we just try and bring the community together, and that's why On the Street Sesh works. It's through engagement. Getting people to sort of support each other. Individually, I say it 1,000 times, and I keep repeating this cliche, but individually we're great, but collectively, when we all get together and play hard together, we're awesome. And that's proved it on the Street Sesh.
And finally, do you feel that the success of Humber Street Sesh has gone to your beard?
Gone to my beard, it ain't gone to my head. Yeah, good shout. Yeah, it's gone a bit grey. Definitely. I've had a few sleepless nights and all that, but no, it's been worth every grey hair. So I do enjoy the process, and I do, not so much love the day, but I just love the feeling of the community getting together and everyone sort of being hyped up about the city itself. I think we've tried to sort of put some pride back into the city, and it's not just Humber Street. I mean, we've got. If you think 5-6 years ago, there weren't that many festivals around this region. You always had to go out to Leeds or Manchester or whatever to go to a decent festival. Now, look at us now, like 2014, with 3 years to go to City of Culture. We've got like Springboard in Cottenham, we've got Trip Festival, the cover festival bands and that. You've got Humber Street Sesh, Freedom Festival, which is the flagship, of course. Trinity Music Festival's, growing in strength each year, courtesy of like Stu Baxter getting involved with that and sort of managing that festival. I think it's fantastic. There's so many platforms out there for local musicians now.
I think the success of the Sesh as well really kind of counters that argument that Hull is a dead end city. It really turns
Not a chance.
that on its head.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, it really felt like the real deal this year. You know, we were charging for it, we were paying the acts, we had the wristbands. It really felt that we were part of a real festival, and it's giving.
If anything, we might have undervalued the festival by only putting a £3 charge on. Maybe we should have charged a little bit more to sort of put a value on it. Because for what you got on the day, you know, £3 was absolutely peanuts, really. 480 acts of live music, alongside comedy, silent disco, skate park, silent disco, the dance tent, all the art that was happening. £3 was an incredible price for what you got. But it was important for us to put that price on, and make it an accessible price to all areas of the community, so everyone could afford to sort of come down and be a part of the day. But it was important for us to put that on there because we needed to make the festival sustainable, to value the musicians, but also the production team as well. They've given up a lot of their time and effort. You know, we've got to value them as well. These things, you know, we can't sustain festivals on goodwill alone year on year.
Exactly. Well, I think that's what you were doing for a long while. I think I remember you via Facebook being quite apprehensive about charging for it, and I remember you putting a status up to say, look, would people consider paying for it? And because of the success of the session, I mean, that got a positive response, and again, look where we are now.
I mean, there's a few keyboard warriors out there that, you know, dead against the idea, think that we're going against the sort of ethos of what we do here on the Tuesdays of free night. But as a festival, with that amount of talent on stage in warehouses and that, it was important to do that.
I'd just like to say thank you for your time today. And I mean, personally, I see you as somebody that spends a lot of time thanking everybody else for your own hard work. So on behalf of the people of Hull and on behalf of Browse,
That's it.
thank you very much for everything you do for us. Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.